What's up, Retro Maniacs? Joe Day coming at you from Mike's Retro Trading Cards. And the title wasn't just clickbait. I've actually got $10,000 worth of non-sports cards that came through the mail. But before we dig into that, hit the music. All right, like I said at the top, we've got $10,000 worth of non-sports cards that came through the mail over the last week or so. I thought it'd be fun to go through these, document them, and if you're into specifically Star Trek cards, if you're into non-sports autographs, I think you're really going to enjoy this. Like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff. So, like I said, $10,000. Some folks might be thinking that's a crazy amount to spend on non-sports cards. Other people might be thinking that's nothing and that's, they spend that on one card. Really depends on what sandbox you play in. For us, for this channel, for me, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money worth of cards. These are not all mine. Some of these, and I'm going to kind of break it up, but some of these are already spoken for, and they will be going into the mail probably tomorrow. As I'm recording this, they'll probably be packed up and shipped out the next day. And I'm going to break them up by, who's getting them and things like that. But again, regardless, it is quite a bit of money to spend on non-sports cards. It's a lot of money to spend on any kind of cards. Most of these will be Star Trek cards. So if you enjoy Star Trek, you'll definitely like this video. If you enjoy cool cards, hopefully you like this video, but I do also have a couple of big Marvel cards towards the end that we will take a look at as well. So first pile here, we're going to go with my buddy John. I mentioned on the channel a couple of times, and right out of the gate we've got two Gates McFadden autographs. She played Dr. Beverly Crusher in The Next Generation. These autos are from a very valuable, very rare set, 2000 Skybox Star Trek The Next Generation profiles. One of these is mine, one is John's. I just have to look at the auto, see which one I prefer. Let me know down in the comments which one you think looks better. But one of these will be going into my set. One will be going out to John's. The rule of thumb on profiles, if someone's autograph is normally like $100 in a set, assume it's at least $500 in profiles. There's one we're going to look at later that is even more accentuates that point of how ridiculously valuable these profiles autos are. So keep that in mind as we go through. Another card for John is this Marita Sirtis from profiles as well. Real nice bold auto on that one. Very difficult card as well to pull. You do not see the high-end characters and actors autos from profiles on eBay. Hardly ever. So when you come across them, they are pretty expensive. Really glad John was able to pick this one up to add to his collection. And then we've got, this is one of the autograph redemption cards. This is of Dwight Schultz, who played Lieutenant Barclay. He actually played Murdoch on the A-Team, if you remember that show. This is a blank redemption card, wasn't filled out. There were 5 more available autographs of probably lesser tiered characters. And no offense to Lieutenant Barclay, he was a very important character in several episodes, but not the cream of the crop autos came in redemption cards, and some of the redemptions are actually worth more than the autos. Like his auto card is probably worth, $40. The redemption itself is probably worth $75. So kind of puts it in perspective there. There's even bigger examples of that, where the auto itself is a $10 card and the redemption is, $60-70. So John, just like I am, we're also collecting the redemption set. So, all right. Now on to another Trek collector. These are Jeff's cards, And we're going to start off with the 1999 Skybox Star Trek The Next Generation Season 7 LeVar Burton autograph. Really, really cool auto there. This is probably the second most valuable auto in that set. You've got Patrick Stewart. LeVar Burton didn't sign in all the sets, so he's a little bit more valuable when you do find him. For example, he's not in the profile set. So I think this was the only set that he signed for. It was this and Insurrection he signed for Skybox, and he signed a couple of times for Rittenhouse, but not a ton. But yeah, LeVar Burton, really cool card. Really fun autograph. Reminds me of Jerome Bettis's a little bit. Uses the whole page. All right, back to profiles. Here's going to be 4 profiles autos right in a row. You've got John Delancey here as Q. In terms of the amount supposedly out there, this is, you know, I think there's over 1,000 of these, but you would not be able to tell it by eBay searches. You cannot find this card very often. You've got James Doohan as Scotty. Pretty valuable James Doohan card. This one is Walter Koenig. He plays Chekhov. So you can generally find his auto anywhere in that $50 to $100 range. This is probably worth 20 times that. Yeah, it's crazy how valuable this Walter Koenig autograph is. The rumor is that they forgot to put him and another character who we'll look at here shortly. They forgot to put them in the sets, and then they got them after the fact, so there weren't as many in the sets. I don't know how true that is, but again, if you're looking for this card on eBay, it is very hard to find. So, and pretty interesting auto as well. And then finally, the big boy of Jeff Stack. You've got Captain James Tiberius Kirk, William Shatner. Really nice auto on that one as well. This is probably my favorite Shatner autograph card, wearing his Monster Maroons. And just as an aside for the profiles cards, I really like how they have the 2 pictures like this. Really, really sharp design on that auto card. All right, those are Jeff's. Now, let's get to mine. Really excited to go through these. Okay, first one's here. We've got some oversized cards. This is a complete set of the 1998 Star Trek Insurrection. These are the gold character cards. Okay, you can see they're a little embossed there. And then on the back, you can see the embossing a little bit. Yep. And then you can see these are hand numbered to 400. These were 1 in 360 packs. So very, very difficult to find. This is the complete set of 7. Patrick Stewart or Captain Picard, Commander Riker, Lieutenant Commander Data, Counselor Troy, Dr. Crusher, there's Geordi, and then Worf. So with these 7, I will now have the complete master set from 1998 Skybox Star Trek Insurrection. I was thinking about not adding these to the set, and then the guy who I was working a deal for most of these Star Trek cards for had like 2 or 3 of these sets as extras. You know, he had a double or a triple of them. So he made me a very good deal to get the full set, but definitely worth it. Looking forward to adding that to the binder. All right. Next, here we go. So, you know, I talked about the redemption card with Dwight Schultz. This is Michelle Forbes, this is Ensign Ro Laren. I already have the autograph of hers. I needed the redemption card. So you can see here, blank redemption card. This, I believe, completes my this order, this big Trek deal completed the profile set for me. So cool to have that one. This is Alice Krige as the Board Queen. This is from 2000 Skybox Star Trek Cinema. This, I believe, I'm a redemption card short of completing this master set. So I'm very, very close on completing this master set as well. I mean, you got to have a Patrick Stewart, right? You can see here, I have this Patrick Stewart. This is not an awfully rare Patrick Stewart. There are 500 of these, I believe, but it is hard to find one in such a nice auto. The gentleman who I bought it from had like 4 or 5 options for me. So I decided this was the one I felt was the best. This will replace the one that's currently in my display behind me on the podcast, if you watch that. All right. This next card is a very valuable card from Profiles. It is Brent Spiner as Lieutenant Commander Data. And very much like the Walter Koenig, this card is way more valuable than any other of his other autos. So I want to say, and I don't mind talking about my money. I didn't want to talk about Jeff's and John's. I didn't feel that appropriate, but I didn't feel that would be appropriate. But so this Spiner, I think his most valuable auto, other than this one, is around $200. This one is worth anywhere from, depending on, where you get it, who you get it from, anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500. Yeah. So again, very rare. They say there's less than 100 of them signed. So, as you can see, people putting the sets together, they don't come up too often. The gentleman who I bought a lot of these from had, in some cases, triples of some of the autos I was looking at. He only had one extra Spiner. Or John would have gotten a Spiner as well, because I know he needs that for his set. It's an awesome card. Very glad to have that one, and it does complete that profile set for me. All right, and then last but not least, 1999. Last but not least of this collection, 1999 Skybox Star Trek, the original series, Season 3, DeForest Kelley autograph. You can see here, you got the Skybox seal. Pretty nice bold auto from DeForest Kelley. DeForest Kelley passed away shortly after this set came out, unfortunately. He only signed 2 cards. He signed the Season 2 set the year before, which I do have in my display, and he signed the Season 3 set. He has some cut autos in Rittenhouse products, but this is the last on-card auto he would sign for Star Trek. My favorite character, I know people are huge Spock fans, huge Kirk fans, but Bones was always my favorite character from the original series. Very sassy, very sassy doctor. It was a real shame when he passed away. Loved him in the movies. Thought he was great in Star Trek 6. That was probably my favorite of his movie appearances. But yeah, I'm just a real big fan of DeForest Kelley. Really nice to have this autograph. I have both of his now from Skybox. But yeah, this is a pretty valuable card. Can't wait to get this into a one-touch and into the display. All right. That is it for the that big collection I had purchased with John and Jeff. Now a couple of other cards real quick. This I actually got from John. And this is the Patrick Stewart autograph from Star Trek Insurrection, the set that I have, the gold set. This is probably one of the nicer autos of his. I'm upgrading the auto I have in my binder set right now, which is pretty streaky. So it was nice that I was able to replace this. John gave me a good deal on that, as we always tend to give each other good deals. So that is another one. And then for non-Star Trek folks, we've got this card. This is from 2000 Topps X-Men, the movie. Ian McKellen as Magneto. So I'm really happy to have this one. Pretty beautiful autograph on this. You can see it's in an eBay authenticity. I actually won the auction. John put it up for a 99-cent auction. I always warn John, don't put these cards up for 99-cent auction. Put them up for buy it now, fixed price, and maybe accept offers. I got it for way cheaper than he wanted to sell it to me off eBay, and I didn't let him cancel it because I wanted to teach him a lesson. You got to do buy it now for these cards. So thanks for the great deal, John. I appreciate that. And then finally, another deal that John gave me was on this card. Still haven't taken it out of the tape. Still in its protective cover here. I've got, yep, there it is. From the same set, 2000 Topps X-Men the movie, Patrick Stewart autograph. And this is probably Stewart's most valuable individual autograph. I sold a lot of stuff off to be able to then put the money towards this card. You never put the hobby on a credit card, I always like to say. And there you go. That is, this was, about $1,700, I believe. It was not cheap. But again, like I said, I sold quite a bit of stuff off to make sure I could afford to do that. This is a very, very limited run. A Marvel buddy of mine told me that he thinks there might be less than 50 of these out there. It's completely possible. And to find it with such a nice bold autograph is great. And they were all gold signature. He was the only one that had the gold signature. The rest were in blue. But yeah, really, really happy to have this one. And it's probably going to find its way in my display here in the den. I'm going to put in a pro mold, put it into a slab mag, and have this bad boy on display. So, all right, that is all I have for you. Like I said at the top, $10,000 worth of non-sports cards. Really excited. The journey to get these was a lot of fun. Working with the collector up in Canada, working with John and Jeff, kind of being the middleman there, was a lot of fun. Was able to look at a bunch of cool cards. I got some good deals for me. I got John and Jeff some good deals for their cards, and I got a pocket full of cash for our friend up in Canada. So worked out for everyone. The cards I got from John also was a very good deal, and very excited to add those to my collection. Let me down in the comments below what your favorite card was. What was your favorite pickup? I think a lot of folks are going to really enjoy that Patrick Stewart, but there are a boatload of really cool cards here. So I hope you've enjoyed these. Like, subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff. And hey, next time I buy $10,000 worth of cards, I'll do another video. So we'll see you on the next one. Later.